Hey, howdy, hey everybody, Servo here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of discussions and some controversial discussions about DreamSnaps as well. But yeah, we're going to jump right into it. No time to waste. If you guys enjoy my content, please be sure hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Alrighty guys, first post is actually from me over here, but I just wanted to quickly point out that it looks like we actually did end up getting the equivalent of the Mystic Manor, which is a like attraction over here at Hong Kong Disneyland. Now, if you guys remember way back in the day, back during like the Mulan update, there was actually like a version of this house that looked just like the one IRL. And then they like scrapped the idea. I think they had some issues getting the rights for it. So it looks like they have repurposed it, changed up the house, and then created like a Gameloft version of the manor, and they called it the Victorian manor. So what's the trade-off here? Well, we could have either like not had it at all, or we could have had a version that Gameloft came up with themselves, like I said, because I think they had issues getting rights. But the bonus of it being something that Gameloft had actually created is the fact that, well, it's only a 3,000 house instead of 3,750 moonstones. So it is a little bit cheaper, and we at least have something that resembles this in the game. But I just thought that this was really cool, and we can finally put that to rest. Like, where the heck did the Mystic Manor house actually go? Well, it looks like Gameloft is, repurposed it and put it in the game, and I don't think we'll ever get a version that looks just like it. I mean, it's pretty spot on. They kept it pretty the same, especially the stairs over here. Like all of the shapes and everything. Like, even if you look at this little balcony at the top here, you can see it right here. You can look at the window right here. It's like identical as well. They pretty much just changed up some of the towers here and created their own vision of it. But I think it's a pretty good thing, and it's a massive house. But I had a lot of fun decorating with this already. Oh, here we go. We got a post from Worried Intention 101. They said, who would be arriving next update? Guys, the next update is probably like a month away. I'm so hyped for it. You guys are finally getting Alice in Wonderland. I've seen a lot of hype for Alice in Wonderland for like the past 2 years, and we're finally getting something added to the game. You know, this is the only image, the only news that we currently know. It shows Cheshire Cat, spring of 2025. Step into a land of wonder and meet new friends along the way. 635 upvotes on here. They said, I'm hyped we're getting Alice in Wonderland characters, but who are we getting? We can tell we're definitely getting Cheshire, but who is the other one? It would make sense if it was Alice herself, but honestly, I would rather get her later along with the Queen of Hearts so they can interact with each other easily. Would it be cool we get the White Rabbit, which the cat helps Alice to direct his location, or we crash a tea party with Cheshire that has the Mad Hatter? Oh my gosh, you know, I really thought it was strange that they started off showing Cheshire Cat. Now, I do believe that since they did tease Cheshire Cat, has to be coming to the game without a doubt. I don't believe they're going to add an update of just Cheshire Cat. That would be the weirdest thing for Gameloft to possibly do. But you can't have Alice in Wonderland without Alice. So, I mean, I feel like you have to have Alice. But the Mad Hatter, Queen of Hearts, that would make for some amazing whimsical outfits and items and stuff. Imagine the friendship quest. Imagine they just drop like 4 characters on us during this update. I would be so hyped for that. But you guys let me know in the comment section, what are your theories about this new like spring update that is on the way? And then we have this post here that's getting a lot of traction. I'm really interested in it. It's from Realistic Abracoma here. They said, honestly, the DreamSnap voting is so ridiculous. You can tell who puts effort into and who didn't. I saw a beautiful DreamSnap get less than 1,200, and then a DreamSnap which looks like they just pulled items down and called it a day, get 4,000. Maybe devs can make the DreamSnaps voting more fair. All I see when I vote is no effort at all or off theme. I have to vote for more than 200 to get one that's really cute and on theme. Nah, there's no way. More than 200. I bet you if I opened up my game right now, within 10 swipes, I'm going to find one that is just incredible. Like, definitely, without a doubt, 4,000 moonstones. All right, here we go. We're going to back out. All right, we're going to go to event, voting. We're voting on My Lost Oasis. All right, up first we have decor challenge. Okay, this one's pretty good. Composition's not the best, so we won't count that one. This one's okay. We'll vote for this. This one's pretty cute. All right, we're at 3. Oh, this one's really good. This one's really good. Had they placed their character back a little bit more, I think it would have been literally perfection because it's a little empty here. And if you were to draw a line, it's perfectly decorated back here. But we'll go 4 on that. Here we go. This one is incredible. Without a doubt, 4,000 moonstones, in my opinion. I mean, it's cute. You have multiple characters. The composition is great. I love the little bubbles here. The lighting, it's very on theme. So yeah, it took us about 5 swipes to get one that we know for sure. Let's go ahead and vote on that one. This one's really good too. I love the lighting on it. I love they decorated and fully set this up. Looks like it's actually in the forest. No. Eternity Isle. Okay, here's another one. This one is incredible. Without a doubt, 4,000 in my opinion. Let's see. Let's do 5 more. We'll do 1, 2. Here we go. This one's 4K in my opinion. Very relaxing. They got some decor in here. Character is very cute. They spent a lot of time decorating. They started doing their makeup and everything, decorating the background. So that one's good. Oh, this one's really good too. All right, so we'll vote for that. Let's get 2 more. This one looks really nice, really relaxed. I mean, there's some great DreamSnaps out here. And then we'll vote for 1 more. Oh, this one right here. Perfect. So I don't know how many that was, 15 or 20. It was less than 20 swipes. And we came across like 4 or 5 amazing submissions. So let's go back to the post. I have to vote for more than 200 to get one that's really cute and on theme. Some is rigged, and for the people who put a lot of effort into their DreamSnap, it's really annoying. Yes, kids play the game, but I bet you about 80% of the players are adults. I agree with that. I don't think there's many players that are kids that actively play this game, you know, like actually play the game. It's definitely probably less than 5%. It's a ridiculous voting system, and it shouldn't have become a voting system to begin with. Honestly, it's gotten so discouraging that it's stupid. The devs made it a competition, and it shouldn't be this way. You know, I see a lot of posts like this, and it makes me sad because DreamSnaps like used to be so much about having fun, but it seems like anymore, almost every day I get on Reddit, it's just post after post of players discouraged, just upset with DreamSnaps. And you know, I can see it's kind of like that with any competition really, and this isn't like singling this user out. I mean, I see posts every day, multiple posts, so it does make me sad. I don't know what we can do like as a community or what GameLock could do to help that. I mean, no one is ever going to be fully happy, and you always want to try and make things fair, and we all know that like the voting system, yeah, it doesn't always match, you know, submissions up the way they should. I do believe that some DreamSnap submissions are not even really getting sent out or a fair advantage, but it's not like that's going to happen to you every single week. So we do see true robberies when it comes to DreamSnaps. I've been robbed many times, you know. I've had submissions that I thought definitely should have been, you know, 4K at least, and something within the same realm of what I usually normally would do. And I've gotten 900 moonstones before. Like, it does happen. But whenever you do get robbed, it's one of those you can't really let it bother you too much. Unfortunately, that's going to happen. You kind of just have to shrug it off and try again next week. That's what I try to do, you know, because you're not going to have a perfect 4K every single time. Just don't let the DreamSnaps ruin your fun. You have to remember there's a lot of submissions that are sent out there as well. Now, they had mentioned that they wish that it shouldn't have been a competition. I kind of like it because it's not like it's a competition that bullies anyone else or anything. You get 2 submissions and you can see like, okay, I like this one a little bit better. This one to me, you know, resonates with me more. I think it fits on, you know, it's more on theme. So then I would take a picture of that one, or you can also skip. So I don't know how else they could really do it. I think a little bit of friendly competition is always fun and always healthy. Let's read through some of these comments here. We have Still Suggestion 1615 that has a long post here. They said, straight from the Dreamlight Valley wiki, DreamSnaps is a multiplayer weekly photo challenge. Players compete against each other, taking photo that meets specific requirements in the valley and submitting them to be voted on by the community. Compete would insinuate it's a competition, and it's meant to be that way. unless you think the devs or the AI would somehow be more fair than the player base. I agree. Like, I don't know how else you could really have like an AI system detect your ranking or how you should do on DreamSnaps, or how they could really do it. If anyone does have a good idea, they could definitely drop something down below. And then you have to make sure when you're doing your DreamSnaps, are you meeting the required like tags? You know, when you're doing your dream snap, are you making it well composed? Are you filling in empty spaces? Are you having your lighting look decent? You know, I have a few videos on this. I know a lot of other content creators have some videos on this, and this can help you probably consistently get a decent rank when it comes to dream snaps. Now, they said it's relatively easy for players to position themselves to get better scores. It's mostly based on tags. Then you need to consider if your photo looks nice, or if the message or theme is communicated to the voter within a few seconds that they take to decide, and then maybe try to maximize your tags. Yeah, exactly on this. You know, you always want to make sure your photo is on theme, and make sure, like, I look at it and be like, to you, do you think that that is 4,000? Because you have to remember, there are a lot of players, and there's only a certain amount of spots when it comes to actually getting a 4K moonstones. You know, I think it's like 7.5% of players, so that's not a lot. So they also continue to say, now a couple things to remember, there is a lot of players and limited rank spots. Not everyone votes throughout the week, so a lot of players vote on Wednesday or whenever they can open the game and don't vote later on. Algorithms take time, and a lot of highly voted for snaps or high tag snaps don't start showing up until later in the week, once the algorithm has enough data to decide what snaps it should start pushing and when/who it gets matched up against. So at the start of the week, or even sometimes during the week, you get a lot of low effort, you know, like kind of the original poster was saying. And that's true, you know, it's the algorithm hasn't really got any votes in yet. So it's more of like, you have to decide, do you want to vote on Wednesday when it's probably more sporadic voting? Maybe later on in the week, you probably will get some better submissions. So the majority of the time, this seems heavily impacted on voters' participation. So if there's not a lot of people voting compared to the amount of submissions, the computer/algorithm, whatever you want to call it, doesn't have enough player input to work on it efficiently. I truly don't see anything wrong with their voting system, and I think asking them to mess with it could just lead to huge issues. Why should we take control out of the players and hand it over to like the AI or the developers? So here's the baseline. They were actually kind enough to link it here. Yeah, so to get 4,000 moonstones is about top 7.5%, which some weeks is about 7 or 8,000. And then some weeks it's like 10 to 12,000 people will be in this 4K range. And then top 12% will be right up in here. So then you also have to remember, like they mentioned right here, also a lot of people truly don't understand how good their scoring is. 900 is still top at 55%. So I've seen the submissions go to about 200,000. And so if you get 900 moonstones, you did better than, well, you did like 55%, right? So just like 1,200 moonstones, you're in the top 40% out of like 200,000 submissions. That is very impressive. Baseline, if you ever get 300, I usually chalk it up to you just got fully robbed, the system messed up. And then if you got 600 moonstones, you're in the top 70% of submissions. So we're going to take a look at a couple of these submissions here. And I know that post was mainly about voting, right? But I want to also use this video to just talk about DreamSnaps and how you can increase your scoring overall. And I would like to make a full video on this later on. But let's go ahead and do some voting here. So we have Decor Challenge, My Lost Oasis, assuming you have your tags and stuff. Let's look at this submission right here. This one tells the story. It's got a couple of sparkles, not too much. It's a pretty symmetrical, which is always really appealing and like pleasing to the eye. Now they didn't cover the foreground and kind of like the corners here, or put anything up here in the foreground, which I usually suggest. But it also is very situational. So for this submission, I don't think it really needs that, since they relied on symmetry on the back layer and also made it pretty heavy. And then they're trying to tell a story in this section right here. So they have their character, which is portraying Jasmine, and then you have Aladdin, and then they also have the eye-catching thing. So obviously the main like eye-catching centerpiece that's going to draw your attention is going to be the rainbows here. So I think they did a really good job. The lighting is at nighttime, which is kind of risky, but they also flared it up where you can see everything. And then they also have some lighting and torches and stuff. So they did a really awesome job with this one. So then we have this submission over here. It's arguably probably a 4,000 submission here because, you know, the foreground's decorated nicely. It's a well-composed shot. They have a lot of details without it being too much. Just a couple of fireflies for some extra flair, nothing too much. You can see their full character. It's very on theme. They don't have, you notice they don't have like empty spaces throughout here. They have just a little bit, which is where your character would walk. So it's pretty much how would you see something IRL, and I think they nailed it here. So guys, I hope this video helped out a little bit. Just try not to get too stressed out over DreamSnaps and rankings. And again, it is a competition. That's kind of how they set it up. And if you need help, please reach out over in Discord. We have our Snap Mentor section. We have a lot of community members that can help out. There's tons of videos, not just from me, but from all creators on DreamSnaps. And it's just one of those things you're going to have to keep trying to improve and get better and better every single week. And then when it comes to like that post that was about voting and stuff, kind of like that user had said in the comment section, maybe wait a couple of days and start doing some of your voting, and you may come across some more, you know, on like your mind at the better submissions, because, you know, at the very beginning of the week, you're probably going to come across just random amounts of submissions, some that probably are true, not on theme at all, and that user probably wasn't even submitting it for an actual DreamSnap. Could have been the star path. But that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I hope you all have the best day. I'll see you in the next one.